5, 4, 3, 2.
Annoying.
All right, I see us. We lost.
Alrighty, welcome to the East Cleveland Public Library Watch Club series. This month we will be discussing Charm City Kings, right? Yes. Mm-hmm. It can be found on HBO. I want to say it's new, but not so new. But yes, let's discuss. I don't know if you guys want to start it. Did you guys enjoy it? Did everybody enjoy it? Like it?
I enjoyed it.
It's not a movie I would watch on my own.
I would. I was a little weary because of Meek Mill, but he did a good job, I thought.
Meek Mills did do a good job. He definitely surprised me with that one. Kaylee, why you say you weren't watching on your own?
I wouldn't either.
Well, clearly you can tell with y'all too. Yeah.
It's honestly the narrative. I get really bored and tired of these same narratives of like young Black kids in the hood who have nowhere else to go but the streets. I understand that it's realistic and I understand that it happens day to day, but it's a narrative that I would like to just kind of move away from. This was different though. I mean, I never knew much about bike gangs. I see them all from Cleveland. So this was super interesting for me, especially now that I'd actually learned a little more about Rough Riders since DMX's passing.
Period.
So that's also something that like it's a good reason to watch it, but I'm sick of the narrative. That's all. I still enjoyed the movie though. I just wouldn't watch it unless I was asked to.
Right.
That is understandable. It did kind of have the same type of make it out the hood, or you know what I'm saying, this is what you got to do because it's where you were born at, this is what your brother did, you want to follow his footsteps. So yeah, I get that, but yeah, I liked it. I don't know if I mean, we are trying to steer away from Black trauma movies, for sure, overall, in general, but I feel like it wasn't like as bad as it could, you know what I'm saying, as other ones were. Yeah, like it wasn't that many deaths or killings, really. You know what I'm saying? It was like it was some major parts, but it wasn't like consistent killing, consistent stuff like that. I think it were some deep lessons in the movie that were brought out. So yeah, as always, who was your favorite character? I loved Mouse. I did like Mouse.
Did you? You know,
he frustrated me, but he's still a kid. Like I have to remember that, like I be trying to like hold people like, oh, you know what I'm saying? I'm grown, so you know, you should know better. But I mean, when I was a kid, maybe, you know what I'm saying? Maybe so. I get where he was coming from and kind of what he went through, but I liked Mouse. I wasn't happy with all his decisions. Right. But again, a kid is gonna be a kid, right, and he was just being a kid, in my opinion. He was.
I liked Lamont. I like Lamont. I feel like Lamont was. I really wanted to know more about his home life. Like whatever he was into, like his parents just either didn't care, didn't know. Because even, you know, at the end of the movie, he was still running the streets like, all right, I see you around. And just the way he was ready to get down with everything. Like he was like, yeah, we'll shoot him. And he was like, no shooting. And he's like, no, we gonna shoot him. That's how robberies work. People die every day. Like Lamont seemed to have a real idea of what his reality was. He wasn't trying to sugarcoat it. He wasn't trying to understand why the world was so bad. He had this "it is what it is" attitude, and I could appreciate that about him.
I did like that, but I feel like he also wasn't trying to change in a sense, like all that stuff he said, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like he wasn't, even with Mouse, boy, his homeboy is in a situation with Black. You get what I'm saying? Like, you can't bring everybody with you for every lesson that's taught for you, or every blessing. You know what I'm saying? Every blessing, everything isn't for everybody. Everyone. As much as you want to include your people and you want them to get better and be like on the same wavelength as you, you can't do that. And I think that was a lesson that was taught with Mouse and his friends. Like, y'all not trying to put in no hard work. Y'all want to be these bikers and y'all want to do this, and y'all feel like we just got to go on the street and steal the bikes. Like, why can't we build our bikes? You get what I'm saying? Why can't we put in some work and learn some stuff? They wasn't here for it. So I did like him because he was with it, and I do be liking that. But I'm still like, dang, you is really with it. You is a teenager that is with it, but I think it just their
Beat up
group
the
just
dude and
showed
stuff like
he wasn't playing
I'll
no.
help,
Now that
I
I agreed with. I did agree with him beating up that man
heck yeah,
because you had a gun
Oh
in my
yeah,
face.
yeah,
You had a gun in
100%.
my face. What
like,
else?
no.
What else can we
He
do?
took
What you
it like a
thought?
champ.
What
There
did
was
you
no fear in his eyes. He held the gun to him, and Lamont is scary because he clearly has nothing to lose. And people who have nothing to lose they've made their peace and they are here for it. He wanted all the smoke, and he was like, "If you're gonna shoot me then. You gonna shoot me over a
Yeah.
bike? Fine." Like, and I think that's what I liked about it. There was a certain realness about him. Not every black kid in the hood is trying to change, and we have to accept that.
I will say a lot of adults I've noticed, even some that I've spoken with and some I know personally, I will say, and I guess I have to admit it, I don't even like saying necessarily our generation because I feel like some of us are a little different from some of these ones that came out of our generations. But some of those adults, per se, more mature, they always say like these younger ones do not care about nothing. They'll do anything. They'll smoke anything. They'll try anything. They'll do a lot of. That's how I like. And it's like when you notice, and when I was looking at him, it's like you said, he ain't care. He like, I'm gonna punch him. I don't care. I'm gonna hit him. Nah, yeah, I'm gonna do the drugs. I'm gonna shoot. It's like, oh no, what's wrong with you? Why is your life like this? But whatever.
And I think that was also, like you said, Caitlin, like we didn't know about his home life. And sometimes kids do that to have a family or feel like they belong somewhere.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? If you don't have that connection at home or you don't get that at home, then you want to feel like you're a part of something. And those bike gangs and all that stuff, they are a family. As you can see, the way they move, you can even see it in Cleveland. You get what I'm saying? Wherever you're at, those type groups are a family. Yeah. So that could have also been a part of it. I mean, yeah, he was trying to show that he was grown up, but yeah, like you said, he ain't had nothing to lose, clearly. And he was looking for a place to belong deep down inside, if you ask me. I mean, it was kind of like,
I kind of wish they would have gave a little more background on them two young men, because I like, yeah, we knew about Mouse and his problem. It's like, it would have kind of been nice to know. It's like, now it's like you're kind of assuming, but it's like, it would have been nice to know, like, okay, yeah, why y'all two? Like how y'all.
They showed us the conversation between Blacks and Rivers. I was like, so it doesn't matter that Mouse is the main character. So I would have wanted to see more. But Ms. Green, who was your favorite character?
I didn't have a favorite character as much as I liked Mouse, Rivers, and Blacks. I liked how they showed all three of them had a positive thing going for all their lives. It was just stuff, stuff happens where, Rivers was trying to help him. Rivers stepped up to Blacks like, yo, like, we can't have the same thing that happened to Stroh happen. So either we can come together and figure this out, like what can we do? Or, doing Blacks, you could even see he didn't want them in the streets. He didn't want them doing any of that. He wanted them in there with them, but took it upon themselves to go rob the store. Like, that was so random. Like, that was just, I don't even know. So, but I like all three of them.
Wait, who was the one, the cop? You were saying you like the cop?
Yeah, I like Rivers, Blacks, and Rivers, Blacks, and
I didn't like him.
Why not?
I didn't like Rivers because in the beginning, I thought it was like, oh yeah, a mentoring thing and all this other stuff. But that one conversation he had with Black, it was like, what are you really, you know what I'm saying? Like that whole conversation in the shop was like really weird to me. And then when he just kept pressing the issue, like it's also a point of when you're a mentor, you have to know when to calm down and step back sometimes. You get what I'm saying? And give people their space. And I feel like he was just like pressuring Mouse to like let me be your big brother. Let me do this. Let me do this. I'm helping you. I'm like, and it's like, okay, bro, you're doing all that, but if Mouse,
I feel like he may have overstepped his boundaries, but I think he might have took on a dad role. Like he said it. He's like, I've been with this kid since he was in high school. Like, I fell for this kid. I love this kid. I want to see this kid grow. This kid loves animals. Like, I think he just really went to heart. Like, do not let this kid go down the same path as his brother.
Yeah, I don't know.
He made the mistake. He made the mistake of being overprotective because even your parents know that they can't tell you everything.
Right.
you're gonna have to figure it out. And I think that's where like Terry came in, like Mouse's mom, where she was like, I'm not gonna lose another kid to the street in my house. Like, so since you know what you're doing, you have to remove yourself. And I think that was the thing, because that's a really heavy lesson to learn. And I feel like a lot of people shy away from something. When something has killed their sibling or something like that, most people are like, I'm never going to do that thing. So it was interesting that Mouse came running towards it. So I think that's where, like, while Rivers was saying, like, this ain't for you, you don't need this, your brother wouldn't have wanted you to be like this. Terry was just like, you know what? You seem to think that you know what you're doing, and you don't. But you know what? Ain't nothing I can tell you that's going to make you change your mind.
Yeah, you got to learn.
But I feel like if Terry could have seen the way Blacks was with him and actually teaching him how to clean the bikes, how to build the bikes, like teaching him a business, it was Terry's crew that was the problem. Blacks wasn't the problem. It was his crew. They wanted to sell drugs.
Jamal.
Jamal. Like, they just,
Blacks ain't even together.
We could be a whole positive motorcycle gang group, and y'all want to be, you want to do this. We already run the streets. We don't have to be a negative thing. We can be positive. We can bring these boys up out the hood and show them it's more. Keep them out of trouble. Let's ride bikes. Let's, go build bikes. Go build 4-wheelers.
I do appreciate how Jamal didn't let him look in the bag. I will say that much. I have to appreciate the fact that Jamal didn't let him look in the bag. He's like, you don't look in the bag, you put another bag in another bag, and you keep going. Like, I kind of appreciate that a tad bit. The kids can't, like, I mean, obviously Lamont was like, we know we running drugs. I mean, what you think we doing? But I do appreciate that the kids actually never saw it. So, but what were you saying, Langston?
I was just gonna say, I was agreeing with Sarah's point that I did like that. I mean, not like, I think it would have made more sense that, like she said, if he would have seen what actually Rivers, if he would have seen what was actually going on, because it's like he was assuming that because Blacks was out and stuff and the little kids hanging around, he know what happened to his brother and all that stuff like that. And he knows his brother is the one that he knows Blacks is the one that put his brother on to, do the whole drug aspect. He assumed like, no, I don't want you hanging around, I don't want you around. But like Sarah said, maybe if he would have seen and then like, what are you doing with him? Blah, blah, and he would have showed him stuff like that. Maybe he probably would have backed up a little bit, a little bit.
No, y'all give him too much credit. That man was crazy. Like, he really was obsessive with Miles. He was really.
But he had the right because the drugs. Like, I feel like as a mentor, that was his right, because they are dealing drugs. They are putting them into extra stuff that they shouldn't be. Y'all supposed to be here helping build bikes and learning how to build bikes.
But also, as a mentor, you have to listen to your person. You're just telling him, hey, you ain't supposed to be doing this. Hey, I checked your veterinarian job and I called here and I did that. And as a kid, as a parent, you get what I'm saying? I already have a parent. I have one mother. I don't need you to, you get what I'm saying? If you're going to be my mentor, be a cool one at least. You get what I'm saying? Like, you already a cop. Like, dang, I don't even want to ride in the front seat with you. I want to be in the bag. And then like, like, that's why he was just too much.
But both the mom and Rivers think the brother died from riding bikes when he died behind some drugs.
Rivers knows what happened.
No, Rivers knew what happened. Yeah,
that's why he confronted Blacks about it. Only Terry thought it was the bike, probably based on the fact that he just kind of, at the time, Stro was 17. So whatever he was doing, he was able to run the streets freely based on the fact that, like, just the way she the way she said it sounds like she didn't say don't bring drugs in my house or anything like that. I'm thinking though she put 2 and 2 together when she saw all of Mouse's money. She was like, "You're not getting this at the vet."
Oh, for sure. So you ain't making that much at the vet.
She's and the way she said it, she didn't say she lost her son to the gang. She lost her son to the streets. And so I think that at some point too, I feel like Terry might have also felt bad because she might have just been taking the money unapologetically because they needed it. Like Black said, Stro called him, and because y'all lights was out for the second time, he had to add that little party in for the second time.
Right.
And he needed the money. So I think Terry also feels something deeply in herself as well because she took the money. She didn't question it. She just let it happen. And I think a lot of parents feel
stopped it like she did when she threw him out.
Right. If you won't accept it, you know what I mean? If he go put money on a bill, that's one thing. But when you accept your child bringing you dirty money, then there's a connotation with it that says like, even though you say out loud out your mouth, I'm not okay with this, it's like, but you still taking my dollars. You still buying milk with the money. So I think that's also where some of her upsetness is.
Yeah, that's true. True. But okay, so that was your favorite ones. Does anybody have a least? We already know who my you already know who my least favorite is, and it's Rivers because he was creepy. I don't care what nobody says. And who else?
Swear to God, actually,
really
was my least
bad one was that's just Black's friend, Jamal.
So you don't like
Nikki.
Jamal.
Nikki was cool. She didn't do anything. You know, she was new to town. It was her summer at her grandma's. She was great. But he just dogged her. I didn't feel
I was quite fond of Blacks.
Swear to God.
That was
I like Blacks.
Yeah, I did like Blacks.
Not my favorite, but I like him.
Yeah.
Now we can go to the negative.
Yeah,
okay.
I
didn't like Swear to God. I wanted Swear to God to find better friends. Just the way they like talked about him. Like, I mean, I know.
I know.
Like, I know that even though I know he passed, but it makes me really upset to see kids hanging out with other kids just because, especially because they really abused him. And I get that they cared about him, and that just might be how their friendship was. But I mean, they was calling him fat every 5 minutes, and every time he was rapping, they was like, "Yo, you suck." Like, I was
unfortunately, that's usually like when you grow up in the hood or whatever. Like, they usually are making fun of you, and you get made fun of as a kid as you grow up, and when you get older, you don't care about none of that because
I was just mad because
they already did it to you.
He was just so down for them, and they weren't for him, and I really wanted him to be better. Like, I was like, man, you can go rap at home in silence, and your mom won't tell you suck. Like, I really, like, he was really up there, and he just kind of agreed with everybody. He was like, well, mine is right. Well, Mouse is right. And I was like, man, you need to put your whole, like, stamp in the sand, man.
He had the same reaction I did when they were like, let's rob the store. And he like, y'all know that's a crime, right? Like,
he said that's a real crime.
Right.
How did we end up at this point? How did we get here?
Right? Like,
it was Lamont going, we've been running drugs. What do you think we're doing on bikes? Like, if you're not built for this, then you need to sit down, teddy bear. I was like, literally, let's sit there. Like,
yeah, I wish you would have sat down. That's why you can't always be down with your friends and down with everything. Yeah, that was I was not expecting that. I was like, oh my God.
But that's why we kind of need to see what was going on in Mont's life, because after he got that gun to his head, he was just like, I'm out here. I'm doing it.
Right.
Like,
yeah, once he beat up that the dude
Derek.
And once he had the support of the other bikers, it was a wrap. It was a wrap. And Jamal was living for that. He was like, Right. And now we can do some work.
That was a different kind of danger.
He really probably, like I said, we don't know, but he really probably does not have that quote unquote family.
Yeah.
Like this biker gang was like, we accept you. Yeah, come on in here. First, it's like that. I mean, the crazy part, you just in there, you like, that's gotta be what it is. Because why are you just so forthcoming? I mean, I know sometimes some people be like, some people kind of like what's the name? A mouse, where it's like, no, I ain't gonna say mouse. I'll say I forgot the other what's the name? What's the other one name?
Who?
Yeah, the one that died.
Swear to God. I don't know why.
Swear to God.
That's his name?
Yes, it's Swear to God.
Swear to God.
I thought that was being funny.
That's his name.
No, every 5 minutes, he's like, swear to God, if I did this, I wouldn't. Swear to God, so that's why they just gave him the name.
I thought they was being, okay. Well,
yeah, like that's his character name. We never find out his real name.
Yeah, but my least favorite was actually Lamont. That's what y'all say.
Lamont. Yeah, he was for it at all times. He was not playing no games.
He was about it.
The streets, like he was ready.
I just felt like he had too much of Mouse in him as well to just put all your life into to doing the drugs in the streets and stuff like that. Like, I mean, it always kind of chokes me up sometimes when somebody is sitting like that. I can imagine one of my friends actually telling me like, look, drug life ain't for you. It's for me, but it's not for you. I mean, and I would appreciate it because you don't want me to go down this road. But at the same time, I'm looking at you like, why do you want the drug life or whatever like bad thing you're doing or whatever? And it's like,
well, if you don't think he
I felt
can
like they
amount
both
to
were kind of
anything,
like they both had that go-getterness where they all could have came up. It's just, I don't, you know.
It's different ways to come up. I mean,
it definitely is. And if you don't have anybody behind you supporting you, like Terry was like this, Rivers did set Mouse up at the vet clinic. He even saying he wanted to be a vet, and somebody like opened that door for him. And that actually happens a lot in people, when people our age as well. We don't have a networking. If you don't have a network, you can't get your foot in anywhere.
That's true.
And I think that depending on, there are people who say, I'm not gonna make it, and they lay down. And then there's people who are like, forget that. I'm gonna climb these stairs and I'm gonna be up there. So I think that unfortunately, what happens is people say, well, you know, he wasn't going to amount to nothing anyway. Like Mont probably had it in him, but at the same time, your parents don't amount to something. The people in your life don't amount to anything, and this is the best thing you can get. So you see it and you take it. And I think that's the thing, is that everybody. I think a problem is it's like a toxic positivity. You want yourself everyone wants you to be better for yourself. But if you don't want that, it's annoying to you. I want you to do good. Okay, but I don't want to do good. So let's move on to the next part. So I think that's the problem that we forget about. You want him to do better, but he don't want to do better. So you got to let that go.
Exactly.
Something else for Lamont was like in the beginning when they first went to that young lady's house. They were telling him where they all lived at, and Lamont was kind of like, "Oh yeah, down there," kind of like he didn't give an out. Like he didn't say, "I live, 2 streets down. I live kind of down there." So could he be homeless, and we just don't know it?
Didn't know.
I didn't even catch that.
Yeah, he was like, "I live down, kind of down there," and it was like
he's already close to the vest. He already talked like he in business he ain't supposed to be in.
Yeah.
He probably was.
Wow. Yes, I didn't even catch that.
That's a good character. That's a good catch.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, we talked about our little least favorites. What else?
So who do y'all feel like was the real villain? Like the villain is obviously the life.
Rivers.
The streets.
You will die on that hill, right?
I would die on that hill. I would stand on that hill. It was Rivers.
Rivers was good.
He was the real problem.
Blacks was good.
Mouse was good.
I feel like the real villain was
the environment all together. He didn't. Mouse felt like Mouse felt like Rivers was coming down too hard. You're not my father. I don't need a father. I still have my mother, like Jennifer was saying. And I'm into motorcycles. Like, yes, I'm into animals and stuff, but my passion is motorcycles. Like, we always see these kids who love something so much, and their parents are just like, no, you ain't doing that. It's like, well, that's what I love. Like, I'm going to do what I love no matter what. So,
I think the real villain was Stro, and I would say that I know he. Yes, and I'm gonna tell you
why. The one who passed away.
Why do I keep picking the dead people?
Let me in on something.
Go ahead.
Please, y'all want to hear it.
I want to hear this one.
I want to say that Stro is the real villain because he glorified this. You know what I mean? I feel like at some point, I don't think obviously he had the time to sit down and tell his brother what was really going on. But there's something that bothers me about people whose family members are down and don't stop them. And I think that that's the thing. He glorified what it was like to do this type of gang stuff, and like because of that, that's what Mouse stayed chasing. And that's upsetting to me because if a stranger is more down for you than your own family members, then that's really an issue. You glorified this, you running drugs and everything like that. You think your little brother isn't going to be down for this? You think that, and Shay could easily do the same thing if she would have been in there. Anybody in that position, they feel like, well, my brother did it. He liked doing it. He was cool. Everybody loved him. And it's a completely different ballgame. So, y'all can disagree with me, but.
No, that's an interesting point. That was definitely an interesting point.
That was.
I do feel like, now I will say, I agree with you for the glorification of maybe the drug aspect. But what I do feel like him probably being the brother he was, I don't know. I mean, obviously this is all fictional with real life touches, but I do feel like maybe he probably wanted to glorify I personally feel like he probably wanted to glorify more to his brother just the bike riding. I don't think he wanted him to know about that's the drug. And then maybe as they got older, he may have explained and said, man, this ain't the life for you. I feel like if his brother was alive, he would have been sitting there like, no, you're not going to be doing what I'm doing. You're going to go be a veterinarian. You're going to go do better. He said, I don't want you to be like me. I want you to be better than me. A lot of parents always say that to their kids. I want y'all to be better than we were. So that's why I don't feel like you just said, to an extent, it's like a double-edged sword with me, because I do agree that maybe he looked at, because I feel like the boy didn't know that his brother was doing the drugs.
I don't think he did.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, did he know about the drugs, or was it just the bike life? I think it was just the bike life. That's what caught his attention every time he saw a bike going. You get what I'm saying? They didn't get into the drugs until towards the end.
Exactly.
Right.
So that's why I was like, I
couldn't have known about the drugs, because when he went to Black and was like, put me on, Black said no, and then Black finally told him the truth, that I put your brother on, and that's why he's gone, or he feels like that's why, so it's like, I don't think he ever knew about the drugs. That's why I think, but still good point though. But I think the glorification,
it's the gang life more of it's glorifying the gang life. You got more at home than you do in the streets. I mean, nobody will ever love you more than yourself, but I think that's the thing. As Mouse goes through this moment or whatever, he's like, he still keeps feeling like, I want to be like my brother still. And as he got deeper in, he still seemed to have his brother still up there. So it's like, even if you did or didn't know, at some point now you have to assume that your brother was doing that. And then when you found out, you still didn't stop. So
I think the bike life is a positive thing, and was a positive thing for him. It was Jamal. Jamal was the problem. Jamal was the one who wanted to bring the in and sell drugs. Like, Jamal's the one who got Stroll, turned out. Also, like, Jamal's the problem. Bike life is positive for a lot of people. It's taking a lot of people off the streets. So he could have did the bike life. His brother still could have been alive, still doing the bike life. That bike gang didn't have to choose to, do their streets like that. We saw him with the brick thrown into the cop thing. Like, the cop was clearly just clearing the area. Everybody could have cleared the area and went on about their business. But no, he wanted a police chase. Like, he wanted to put everybody in the community at risk, because now you want to go flying 50 miles per hour, 100 miles per hour down alleys and streets. Cars coming anyway, can't nobody see you. Like, and even with Rivers, but I liked him also. Like, he called him off, like, you're not in your jurisdiction. Stop chasing them. Like, stop.
Right.
And remember, Black did say, choose your friends wisely and stuff. He was like, because your brother should have done the same thing.
Right.
And obviously, I feel like, again, Black maybe was trying to keep his brother probably doing even though Black was doing bad stuff, it seemed like he was maybe still trying to get out of doing bad stuff.
He was on probation. He was trying to get over it.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, Jamal did mention that he said you're still trying to do the saving the youth thing. Like, he did mention Jamal that. So it seems like it seems like after Jamal was indoctrinated, that's when Blacks figured out, or maybe it was after Stroh died, because technically speaking, like, it sounded like he died about 5 to 6 years ago. There's it's not a double-digit amount of years, but it's enough time for him to feel like, you know what I mean, he needed to do something. So it seemed like Blacks has been trying to do this since before he went to jail. But we also don't know how long he did.
Yeah, but my thing is, because it was one part, now that we talk about Jamal, where didn't he say, because they was like, oh yeah, he too young and stuff like that. He was pretty much saying, like, this is the age I got started at. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So my whole thing is, now, do you think that, we know Blacks was there from the beginning, and he got Jamal hip and got him on and stuff like that. So do you think, like, we know Blacks was trying to change, but do you think that it was like him reconnecting with Mouse was a way to almost like clear his conscience? You get what I'm saying? Like, or right or wrong in a sense, like because he brought the brother to the streets.
That's
he
what he
clearly
said.
turned Jamal out. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and with Mouse, he's like, I'm about to show you, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to do that. He didn't even want to take the money when Jamal was trying to, or whoever was like, oh no, this your cut. He like, no, dude, no, it's not. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, it's not.
Right.
So, but that was my whole thing. Is like, I didn't want it to be like intent. Like, I don't know. I just feel like in the beginning, do you think Blacks was true when he connected with Mouse? You get what I'm saying? Or he already knew all along, like I was, you know what I'm saying? He felt bad for how his brother died, and
I think he
introducing him to the streets. You get what I'm saying? Like, but that's what I'm saying. In the beginning, it's a difference between being brought in because, hey, I'm trying to change the youth, and being brought in because, hey, I felt like I took your brother out. You get what I'm saying? It's different intent.
I thought
he said, I'm trying to
exactly. So that's what I'm trying to say. What was his intent?
That's why I feel like his intention was more towards, he took your brother out, and I want to do something for you because I feel like I took your brother out. You know,
there's something that I want to.
I mean, that's just my, opinion. I don't think he really cared too much about the other, and I ain't even being funny. Like you said, when he was even sitting there and he was like, oh, the things for the bikes, blah, 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 Skip trying to help him. He was like, what about my friends? What about my friends? And he was like, no, I'm doing this for you because this is what I'm doing this for you. I know your brother, blah, blah, I'm doing this for you. And he was still, no, what about my friends? What about my friends? What about my friends? And it's like, he was like, wow. I mean, he appreciated his loyalty. And that's why I guess he was like, all right, he can, for him, I guess, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like it was initially like, no, I'm trying to make, because that's why I was going to say that with Rivers' situation, that I feel like when when Mouse had said, what you doing this for? Why you keep following me? Because what? Because all them people you put away. So that's what was making me think, like, even though Rivers could have very well been like, this is a smart young man. I think he blah, blah, he did the anatomy of I know he can be more than this life. I do feel like he probably got a little guilt on him because maybe he was putting some dudes away, being and not necessarily doing it because it was the right thing to do, but doing it because he was being quote unquote blue, as they like to say. And remember, Black even said to him like, oh, now you all of a sudden going the right path and yada yada,
That's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. So yeah, both of their intentions, I feel like not ill, but they
had underlying.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying? Like they both weren't doing it for the right reasons in the beginning. Like you said, Rivers was trying to make himself feel better for locking people up. Black was trying to make himself feel better for the brother situation. You know what I'm saying? But even that exchange with Rivers and Black, that's what I'm saying about the whole being so hard on Mouse because of Blacks. It's like you were trying to get Black back. You get what I'm saying? Like when they were in the garage and he's like, oh yeah, I heard this name. And I'm like, no, that can't be him.
That was weird.
You know what I'm saying? Like you were doing that for what? You get what I'm saying? Like, are you trying to help Mouse or are you trying to get back at Black at this point?
And it's like, are you trying to get back at Black for what Black did to Mouse's brother?
And that's another thing. That's what I said. Rivers is not a good guy because if he knew all along what happened with Mouse's brother, you get what I'm saying? Why didn't you speak on that? You're supposed to be a mentor. You get what I'm saying? Like, hey, don't do this because this is Blacks is the one who got your brother wrapped up. You holding this tight, like, oh yeah, do he really know? Do he really know what he did? But you knew. You get what I'm saying? And you following this boy around, stressing him out because you're trying to get back at Black.
Like, if he's really a mentor or whatever, why on earth? And I know it might have been like, oh, some people say, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. But why on earth wouldn't you tell his mother the truth? Why? Why would you keep that from her? And like I said, I know it's hard, but that would maybe even more. I mean, of course, she probably would have been on him more and like, no, you're not doing the streets. But I'm saying, like you said, your intentions are just coming off a little.
I think he had decided that it wasn't his place.
He should have told his mom. I think he was right not to tell his mom as a mentor.
I think it wasn't. He felt like it wasn't his place because
he was gonna lose trust As a mentor, you cannot lose trust from that child, even though he was losing it on his own.
Mouse didn't trust him. That's hard. You have to have trust to lose it. Mouse didn't trust that man.
He did a little bit.
But
He wouldn't have gotten in his car. He get in the car every time. Like he just get in the back of the car.
Cause you gonna keep following me. We're in Chicago. Like where was they at? Baltimore? Like who want? Oh man, like even his friends like, there you go, there go your little policeman. You're my friend. Why would I want anybody else to know? You're gonna keep following me and harassing me clearly if I don't get in the car with you. That I would have got a car too. Like, oh, let me just go. And get all the way. Yeah, he was like, let me hear.
Like a parent, my dad here, y'all.
There was a bit of trust.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's how I'm like, no.
There was a bit of trust.
Mouse
It might not have been a lot.
The mom and them set that whole thing up, and the mom was like, "Oh yeah, here's Rivers. He can be your mentor." And I feel like it was something like that. Mouse didn't go searching for Rivers. You get what I'm saying? And Rivers didn't go searching for him. I feel like
it was some jealousy up in there too, because I feel like he was like. Because
not jealousy.
Like, no, Rivers was looking at Mouse like, you can let him talk to you and you be your big brother, but you want the person that's been mentored.
Oh yeah.
He was
I'm the good guy. This dude went to jail.
Yeah, you can't be a mentor and be in your feelings. You can't. You cannot.
What
and that's Rivers was in his feelings.
I think that there was a little bit of trust at the beginning. Now, was there a lot of trust? Probably not. What I do think, though, is unfortunately, like you said, Rivers is way too invested in this young man's life. I think he didn't tell his family due to the fact that he felt like it wasn't his place, which, in all honesty, it was not. Because how are you supposed to tell somebody not to like their brother, and then you just, it's a bad idea to be like, you shouldn't trust him because you got your brother killed. Like, wait, what? We're not gonna go past that. Like, you didn't just say that. Like,
what you mean? I would want you to tell me. That would be good reasoning for me to trust you. If you tell me something like that, I'm gonna be like,
but Mouse, as you can see, is clearly impressionable, which is why I think Blacks actually had Mouse put his dog down. We'll put Sophie down. That was so heart-wrenching. But I think he had him put him down so that he understood what it's like to take a life, because Mouse was at that edge, right? Where he was willing and ready to do whatever it took. And actually euthanizing that poor doggy is what brought him back. You know what I mean? Which is how the next day, at first he was like, yeah, let's rob him. Then the next day he was like, no shooting. Like his demeanor suddenly changed. So I think the thing is that when you tell people terrible things like that, you have no idea what they're going to do. We saw what Mott did when somebody took Mouse's bike. We don't know what happened.
Well, you need a friend like Mott
over the edge. So
but you know what? You can't tell me that Jamal ain't know something, because, and I mean as far as how the whole robbery and everything was gonna go, because why did he say give Mouse the gun instead of letting Mott have the gun? You know what I'm saying? I feel like he knew something.
Yeah, he said, because Queen said
to get back at Blacks because
he was trying to get back at Black for giving Mouse the gun. You know, Blacks was like, don't get him involved, don't do this, don't do that. That's why he was like, not you. No, give him the gun. Yeah, he knew that was gonna piss Blacks off.
Wait a minute, hold on. Am I confused? I thought when they was like, unless I seen it wrong, I thought when they was outside or something, whatever, and they was walking, they asked for the piece, blase skip, and I thought Jamal was like, he pointed to Mouse and was like, give him the gun.
He said give them a piece.
No, we're saying you're right about that, but we're saying Jamal did that. He chose Mouse over Lamont because of Black.
I was right. Okay,
yeah. That's why I'm like, and I feel like he knew Lamont would have been in there just shooting.
Is that? Yeah, exactly.
He was just a wild child. After he beat up that man with that bike, he was like,
he was ready.
So how do y'all feel about the idea to rob the Kims though? Because they're racist.
No, we don't like that idea.
But I mean, because they're racist though, they didn't have a real good reason. They tried to rationalize robbing the Kims, right? You see, Mouse tried to rationalize it.
But that's
like,
why I
we should
swear to
rob
God
them
was like, no.
because they're racist anyway. And I was like, are they racist? I think it's an interesting part that we put in a lot of movies. There's always a owner that isn't black owning a shop in a movie that ends up being robbed or tagged as racist. Do y'all think, I mean, we don't see a lot of the Kims, but do y'all think that the Kims are racist? The nice Asian people that they robbed.
Oh, the people that was in the movie?
Might have been. Just a little bit.
Or do you think that they're traumatized because they keep getting robbed? Miss Kim might have had a...
yeah, it's a difference between being traumatized, then you get you some more cameras. You get what I'm saying? Or you get protection. You don't follow people and make people feel awkward in your store, especially not children. Like, I understand kids gonna be kids, yeah, teens steal and stuff like that. But it's like, I'm sure they were in there often. You get what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that was the area where they were in, and that was a frequent store they visited. If they knew the people's name, you get what I'm saying? Like, he said something to the lady, you get what I'm saying? So it's a difference because, yeah, no.
I felt like it was a little more, yes, I feel like there was a little hint of racism in there, just a little, but I more so think it was just a thing of, these are little kids, even though, because the only reason I don't want to say like directly racist is because their store is in the middle or the midst of a whole black, or shall I say urban area or whatever. So it's like, I'm sure they get black customers every day. So I ain't even being funny. You have to be watching those customers every day. I ain't even being funny unless I missed something. The only white person I seen in that area, in that city or whatever, was the white veterinarian. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't see no, you know, so I just felt like it was more of a, I feel like they were little kids and it was like, yeah, we gonna watch our little ass behind because, you know, we
right.
You know, don't want y'all. What you think, Aaron?
No, I definitely think the Kims, you know, they may have had a little inkling towards those kids because I think they were definitely like being stereotypical. Like they probably stereotyped them. Oh, okay, they're kids, African American kids. Just because they're in a black community don't mean that they're not racist.
That's true.
That's very true.
That's true.
You know,
yeah,
good point.
That's reality. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these hair stores and
they want that black dollar.
But
you want to watch us and not treat us with respect.
Right. Because you're in an urban neighborhood, everybody is stealing or they're just less than you. So I do think they may not have been like, okay, what you call racist, but they definitely had their vibe about those.
Yeah, some stereotypicalness up in there. Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
that's true.
Sure did.
Yeah, so they was a little racist probably. But because we only got like 15 more minutes, let's talk about Mouse's little love interest.
Yeah, she was pretty.
She was so pretty and so kind.
I did not like how he played his game.
I did not like that either. I didn't like the way he played her when he got that bike and he started had them little baby girls on the back of his bike. She like, can we go to the movies? Can we do this? Like, boy, you bought me a kitty, and now you don't want to. I can't ride your bike. We can't go to the movies. I mean, like.
And there's a good question for all y'all right there. What did y'all think that was for? I'll start because that was odd to me. Like, what did you like? At first, I was thinking like, okay, maybe because of what she been. No, I don't recall her saying she was leaving. If she did, good point.
She was only saying for the summer.
Oh,
in the beginning, that's what she said.
Oh, that's why he said these people that's gonna be around here. That makes sense. Never mind.
He'll be back next summer.
I was gonna say like, what would be his reasoning for like dogging her? You know what I'm saying? Especially, but okay.
I like Nikki. I didn't like her little character type. I feel like every pretty girl in these movies is always a photographer. She always this artsy fartsy girl, and I'm like, okay, let's move on. But that's beside the point.
That's like the first photographer I've seen.
Girl, what else is that?
There are always these weird girls who are into these really quirky things. It's a character archetype, but I'm gonna move past it. Now,
Girl.
Nikki in general, I thought Nikki was playing. I think her actress did a great job. I feel like she, like, I feel
I'm
like
about to
she
go.
definitely, like, she did. It's an arc. It's tired.
Because you're a whole mess. You're a whole mess, Kimberly.
It's annoying. Don't you hate those quirky?
Nah, it's annoying. I just don't know what else is a teenage girl supposed to be into.
I mean, come on, you don't have a phone.
He was supposed to be a
dog.
Rough Rider too.
You don't have.
What was she supposed to do?
I mean, I'm sick of
And
the
she's not even
archetypes.
from there.
You acting like the Kim. You being
I'm sick of the archetype. I'm sorry. I will die on this hill. Everybody doesn't have to be artsy fartsy. Okay? That's what's so different about her. That's what attracted them. Like, come on. Okay, we're gonna move on. I like Nikki's character.
Is it because she
I like
wasn't
her
into comic books?
That's what she was supposed to be doing. Dang. You already saw them other little baby girls. They ain't had nothing going for them.
You don't know
They ain't had
that.
nothing going for them. I like little Nikki. We know that because she talking about he only girl, if you don't get your little ponytail in here, go ahead and get off that bike and let Nikki through. Because
Exactly.
So-
That Nikki
no, and she took that
I
beautiful
didn't
picture of
say-
him, and he started being
didn't
autistic
say I
and
hated
stuff.
Nikki. I didn't say I hated Nikki. I just don't like the character.
But you said you ain't like her characteristics,
Her character
her
archetype.
qualities.
I
Whatever.
thought she was great.
I like the fact. I do like the fact of what they had. I love the idea of a whirlwind summer love. That I'm a big fan of romance. I love when people kind of blow into town and it's like we got 3 months to be in love and then I gotta go home. Like I absolutely love it. It's a lot of fun. I think you can get very creative with those type of things.
because you got a
I
lot
like that
go.
she like kind of shoot her shot more of when she was like, you want to go to the movies or something. I like that she wasn't the type of female that like was like waiting around. Like he dissed her and she was like, peace. Like she didn't spend any time chasing after him. And I could appreciate that.
Because she already knew he was chasing after her first. When you know, like, boy, the other way around, when you wasn't here, when you wasn't in front of your homies, you was bringing me cats and you was taking pictures and you wanted me to drop the bike off with you. You get what I'm saying? You keep that in the back of your mind. Yeah, you be like, okay, you can do it. Okay,
That's
I
why
believe
she went to
this.
the ocean without him.
And that's why he was calling and looking at that picture after that because he realized he had messed up.
Yeah.
I do like that she was her own independent woman, and I could appreciate that about her.
She had no church, she had no friends out there. She had there for the summer. You had to be independent.
Okay, y'all. I wanted to bring something up. Now, when the shooting happened with the little boy in the store, with swear to God.
Yeah.
It kind of broke my heart to see that any black man could have turned himself in for what just happened.
Yes. Oh my
no.
God.
Anybody could see that it was
you're not
kids.
even a suspect. You don't even look like the
Not
dude.
tall.
Like
any black man could turn themselves in.
It adds to the racism. It adds to the racism and the fact that the only description that they had was that somebody was black. That's the thing that's really upsetting.
And they said 13.
Yeah, that was pretty.
I thought I was the only one that paid that attention. Like,
I'm like,
what?
Yeah, that's why I was like, how
have on the jacket? They can get the blood prints off the bike. Like, none of that's going to match. None of it.
The fact
that that was actually disturbing to me.
Outside of the place, like I mean, everything pointed in the way Mouse was acting. He was like, "No, don't do this. You can't do this." But like he was saying everything.
What type of cops were they?
What type of cops?
Racist ones. And that's why I do agree with Jen about Rivers being the freaking villain. Because dog, you know good and dang well. That's why I said that jealousy type thing or something. You really did not want this man around. I mean, this little boy around this man that bad that you won't. When it's obvious he ain't do it. Like
Rivers knew what he was doing. Rivers knew what he was doing. And since blacks took the fall for him, Rivers was like he let it happen because he knew that if he took Mouse to jail, things were not going to change. So that's why. I don't think it had anything to do with
either with him saving Mouse. Mouse still don't like him.
Exactly, because
that's all I kept telling him. I was like, okay, he saved him from jail, but he still don't like you, and he's not gonna talk to you still. So you doing all that for what?
And he gonna feel like you put him away on purpose.
And yeah, you put away his real mentor, the head
That's
He
on
ain't gonna want
that,
to talk to you.
that part
He
right
not gonna
there.
want to talk to you. But yeah, that
They
whole
let him.
scene, I was not expecting that ending, y'all. I was like,
Oh no.
we weren't
I
talking
think
for this to happen.
It definitely made Blacks a better character. It was just sort of his redemption. He was able to stop another young child from
Turn
going to
yourself in
jail
for
and
a
dying.
murder to redeem yourself.
Exactly.
We
Well,
need
no,
to
it
get
redeemed
Jamal
his
off the
character.
streets to redeem everybody.
Hello.
Y'all just all wanted Jamal to die.
I didn't want Jamal to die, but Jamal's the one out here getting everybody killed.
Yeah.
Not blacks.
Hey,
But
look,
at the same time, blacks.
didn't seem to have a-
Jamal.
They didn't seem to have a
Yeah,
gun
hello.
or anything like
Hello.
that.
I'm like, actually, he right across the street. He riding around in a bank. That's who did it. He's short too. He young. He probably looks like
Not
a
that's
13.
who
That's
did
him.
it.
That's who
That's
did
him.
it.
Oh,
I'm
y'all out
like,
here framing people now. Wow.
I mean,
one
if
that
Black's doing
deserved
just turn
it.
himself in,
Because
yeah.
Black did not deserve that. I'm
No,
like,
blacks was
wow,
turning himself around. And with blacks being on probation, who knows how long he just got for that?
Oh, baby, he got,
Exactly.
yeah.
Like,
He went
He
down
said
for
one more
that.
time he go
Yeah.
back. Is he
It was a rap.
Yeah.
It was a rap.
That's
for
what he
murder?
said.
that's a lot. Or robbery, whatever they charged him with.
Girl, they gonna charge you with murder
Yeah.
and robbery. And that's my thing. He like, I'm here to turn
well-
myself in for the robbery. Like, dang.
No, they do that now.
No,
If
I
you
don't
go
think
into a store and if you go into a store with the intentions of robbing someone with a gun and one of you get killed,
You get charged for that murder.
Is charged
Yes.
for that
Do
murder.
Yes.
you?
Yes.
I have a friend
yes.
right now who's
Yes.
in jail for that.
Yes, girl. You know I love me some
Wow.
crime shows. Yeah, no.
You
If
sure do.
if you set that up and go in there and somebody die, whether it's one of your people or not, yeah, you get charged for that murder. So
You sure do.
yeah,
Two
he was
lives,
getting
the other
charged for
two
murder
died, yeah,
and
they-
robbery. Yeah.
Well,
You
it
know,
be
that's
like
criminal
that sometimes.
justice here.
Yeah.
It's because
he
you know
blacks is
everything that you know every consequence when you're going into this place. So
That's
What you
true.
got?
all right. Jennifer, any last comments or things you want to bring up?
Anybody else? Any last words? No, I say no. I guess we all agreed this movie was good. It had underlying messages in there. We recommend it for anybody who wants to watch it. Meek Mills was in it. It was a really good movie. Like we
Great
said, it
cast.
can be found on HBO Max.
He wasn't a bad actor.
No, he wasn't. I was shocked too. I was like, okay, little Mickey Mix. I ain't want to stick to acting.
I like him in this
Didn't
role.
rip. Yeah,
Yeah.
I did. He was looking a little scruffy, but I was here for
That's
it.
what
was
I
here
said.
for it.
I said, but I get it.
I
I
was
get the
here.
look.
Everybody in this movie needed a lineup. Everyone, like
Everybody, like they had barbers out there. They was just
It
riding
was-
bikes.
Well, he did.
I
just
was like,
have
all
to
right,
shout out.
Baltimore.
You know, you have to make that honest money, Sharon.
All righty. Well, like we said, thank you as always for joining the East Cleveland Public Watch Club. Fortunately, next month, May, we will not be doing any type of discussions because we will be celebrating our Founders Day, which is the last Saturday in May, and it will be from 11 to 5. So make sure you come out and you can meet the East Cleveland Public Watch Club while you want to.
Yeah.
We will all be here, and there will be fun and games and everything. So we will see you then, and we will see you back in June. And we will be posting our
Yeah,
discussion, whatever we just tried to watch by the end of the month for that. So we will see